1, 2, 3. Okāsa bhante dvaratena katam sabam aparādham khamatu me bhante dutiyamti okāsa bhante dvaratena katam sabam aparādham khamatu me bhante tatiyamti okāsa bhante dvaratena katam sabam aparādham khamatu me bhante. Now we'll request for Uposatashtasila. Okāsa aham bhante ti saranena sa uposata ashtashilang dhammang yachami anugaham katva shilang detame bhante dutiyamti okāsa aham bhante ti saranena sa uposata ashtashilang dhammang yachami anugaham katva shilang detame bhante tatiyamti okāsa aham bhante ti saranena sa uposata ashtashilang dhammang yachami anugaham katva shilang detame bhante aham bhante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyamti buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyamti dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyamti sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyamti buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyamti dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyamti sangham saranam gacchāmi.
Ti sarana gahanam varipunam
Aham bhante
panati pada veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
pāṇātipāta veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Adina dana veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Adinnadāna veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Musavada veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Sura miraya majjapama dattana veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Sura meraya majjapama daṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyāmi.
Najja khita vadita visuka dasana mala kanda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusana thana veramani sikkhabadam samadhiyami.
Nacha Gita Vadita Visukha Dasana Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Bandana Vipassana Thana Veramani Sikha Padam Samadhiyami.
Ucca sayana mahasayana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Uccasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikha Padam Samadhiyami.
Visaranena saha thanga samanam gadam uposatha silam sarukam gadava apamadhena sampadita.
Bhante sadhu sadhu sadhu. Some of our members cannot observe Uposat shield, so they follow Ajivattamagga shield. Can I request for that?
Okay, can you chant by yourself?
Okay, I can.
Okay, chant. Okay.
I will recite Ajivattamagga shield.
Okay, okay.
Pranatipata Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Adinnadana Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Kāmesu micchāchāra Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Musavada Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Pisunavacha Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Parusavacha Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Sampalappa Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami. Miccha Ajiva Suramiraya Majjapamadaṭṭhāna Veramani Sikhapadam Samadhiyami.
Visaranena saha thanga jivattamaka silam sarukam gadava apamadhena sampadita.
Bhante sadhu sadhu sadhu. Third one request. Your sound is not coming proper. Some disturbance, just like last time.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
With connection problem maybe.
Maybe.
Oh.
Can you do something or we can continue?
Okay, so can you suggest something to do? To change something? If connection for what can we do? What can I do?
Sir, काय करताय लोग? तिकडे काही इश्यू नाही होता.
Bhante, I think need to change a little bit location.
Location?
Just need to check that bar. When the four sticks clear, then sound will be clear.
Okay, so maybe I should open the door more. Can you hear now? Is it okay?
It is.
No, Bhante. Still same.
The same, okay. So, if like this, I should move to what about now? Situation is okay now? Anything different?
Okay.
थोड़ा चांगला आहे आता.
Okay.
Yes, little bit okay Bhante now.
A little okay. Because now connection is very poor and little forest. Okay. So
if you talk slowly now, then it will be better. You're talking fast, so it is echo is good. Okay, I will formal request for Dhamma Desna.
Okay.
Brahmacha lokadipati sampati Katanjali andivaram ayachata santitta sarata parakajati ka dese tu dhammam anukamping man pajang.
Sadhu, 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 sukhi hotu, nibbana sapacca hotu. Now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So today we are going to talk about 10 Mara's armies. As we have known, there are 5 types of Maras, like Kilisa Mara, the refinements, is also called Mara. Khanda Mara, the 5 brigades, is also called Mara. We have Maju Mara, the death, is also called Mara. Abhisankara Mara, the formation, whether it is wholesome or unwholesome, that can produce new life, is also called Mara. Now, we also have known that Deva Buddha, the divine beings, is also called Mara. But today we are going to talk about Mara's armies as the Buddha explained in the sutras. So we can find 10 Mara's armies in the Sutta-nibbata, Paṭhamā Sutta. So in the very beginning, we have to introduce what's really called Mara's armies. So that means Maras himself cannot come to human realms, but there are his armies. They can defeat the meditators. Now we have to know what's the first one that can defeat the meditator's mind. They are metaphorically called Mara. The first one is Kāmā. We can understand Kāmā as sensual pleasure and sensual desire. Of course, with our objects, we cannot enjoy any sensual things, any sensuality. There must be the attachment, the craving, sensual desire first. If we have sensual desire, now we must also have sensual objects. It can be a visible object. It can be an audible object. It also can be a smell, the odor, or the flavor, the taste, or the tangible object, the touching sensation. So different people may have different favorite objects. There are somebody, they may like visible things more. They like beautiful things, colorful things, like that. There are somebody, they may like different sounds, different types of musics, and many different types of other audios. Then they also have some, there will be some other people, they may like the smell, they like different smell. There are some people, they may like different tastes, different touch and sensation. So according to people's preference, there can be different sensual objects. So when we have sensual objects and also sensual desire, we can enjoy it. Although we have sensual objects, if we don't have sensual desire, all sensual objects are meaningless. So if we have sensual objects and sensual desire both, if we like sensual desire too much, or if we enjoy it, if we waste our time enjoying sensual pleasure, we are defeated by the first armies of Maras. So how many of us are defeated? Surely we are surrounded by Maras armies. Everywhere, wherever we go, we may see many different things, we may hear many different sounds, we may smell, we may taste, we may touch. Now we are surrounded by Maras armies. So many of people are defeated by the first armies. That if we can overcome it, or if we can win the first Maras armies, what will be the next one? Of course, we have to give up sensual pleasure. After giving up sensual pleasure, we can go to the forest. We can meditate. We can live in a secluded place. So the main thing is, if we cannot delight in secluded place, this is also second Maras army. We call in Bali Arati, non-delights. Here, non-delight doesn't mean delighting in many other things. Only one thing, this is not delighting in seclusion. We have many different types of seclusions or solitudes. They are, for example, living alone in the forest is called bodily solitude. We can understand the one. But the next one is mental solitude. Knowing one object all the time. That means we are meditating all the time. If we can improve well, we can delight in solitude. If we can attain jhana, we can enter into jhana attainment, we can spend our time with jhana attainment. Enter into different attainments, we can also live in the solitude. Okay, the main thing here, Arati means no delight in seclusion. Our mind will not incline to meditation. Our mind will not incline to living alone in the secluded place. This is called Arati. So we also have one more thing. If we are unwilling to meditate, this is also called Arati. So in brief, although we can give up sensual pleasure, if we cannot live in the seclusion, in the solitude or secluded area, or meditating, this is the second Maras armies. If we are unwilling to meditate, unwilling to live alone, or unwilling to live in seclusion, that is second Maras armies. If we can overcome the first Maras armies, then we can be defeated by second Maras armies. So one more thing here. Sometimes we are really interested in meditation. We like meditation too much, or our minds inclined to meditation easily, but there can be another Maras armies. In Pali we call khuppipāsā, hungry and thirsty. So hunger and thirst, this is also one of the disturbances in our meditation. So sometimes, if we can meditate very well, our minds will delight in meditation very well. We can forget about thirsty or hungry. We also have another way. If we have very strong rapture, in Pali we call piti, or passaddhi, tranquility. If we have very strong rapture and tranquility, there will not be any hunger or any thirst. We will not be hungry or thirsty because our body is invaded with rapture and tranquility. So that means sometimes we may have enough food, sometimes we may not have enough food, because all in life, depending on the devotees. Sometimes we may like our favorite foods, the food we like. Sometimes we cannot get the food we like. What about donations we have? We have to accept it. So sometimes food is not very good quality, we don't eat, then we'll be hungry, we'll be thirsty. That's why khuppipāsā is also the next Maharaj Armies. When we are hungry or thirsty whole day, whole nights, then we can meditate well. Sometimes, although we can defeat the first Maharaj Armies, the second Maharaj Armies, but we are defeated by the third Maharaj Armies. Then the fourth is Taṇhā, craving or attachment. Of course, we have a lot of attachments. We may have attachment to our clothes. We like better clothes, smart, more fashionable, more stylish clothes. And we may also need good living place. We also like living in very beautiful house, very big house, very luxurious house. We may have attachment to very luxurious furniture, even like a bed, cushions, mattress. We like many, many different things, more luxurious things. We also like special foods or choice foods. We also like special medicine, choice medicine, and so on. If we have a lot of attachment to material things like that, we cannot meditate very well. Our mind will not incline to meditation. And sometimes we have a lot of attachment to our house. We will not leave our house. If we leave, oh, I have to do this in my house. I have to do that in my house. We may remember our house all the time. So that's why attachment, the craving, this is also one of the disturbances. This is also Maharaj Armies. Most of the people are defeated by these Maharaj Armies. They cannot leave home. They have family, they have houses, they have many household works, cannot leave. People are defeated by the fourth Maharaj Armies, Taṇhā, craving or attachment. Then we have 5, Thina-middha. Mostly we translate as sloth and torpor. But here we have to understand a little bit more. Thina-middha means our minds are not very active. Sometimes our mind is very dull and blocked. We cannot know the objects properly. We are not very interested in meditation. We can also say another way, it's sluggish. When our mind becomes very sluggish and lazy and drowsy, this is called Thina-middha. So that means if we are lazy and drowsy too much, that means we are sleeping, always sleepy. Sometimes because of overeating, we feel sleepy. Sometimes because of spending very long time or because of tiredness, we may feel sleepy. Our mind is not very active. Our body is also not very fresh, not very active. At the time we can say Thina-middha. So when we have Thina-middha, we cannot improve ourselves. If our minds are not very active or not very interested in meditations or the thing we are going to do, we cannot improve easily. This is Thina-middha. We can also say another way, sluggish minds or inactive minds. If we have these two, this is Mara's armies. We are defeated by Mara's armies. Then the next one is really concerning with meditation. In Bali we call bhīrū. Bhīrū means fear. So sometimes our mind inclined to meditate. We can meditate very well. Sometimes the mind becomes very quiet, stable, tranquilized. The mind is so tranquil that it becomes so quiet and fear may arise. Sometimes it's only mind-made fear. People may think that, oh, there's a ghost, there's a Maras, there's some unseen beings, there's no human beings. Although we see very simple things, our mind is cheated. Although we hear normal, very simple things, then we are cheated by our minds. Oh, I have seen devas, I have seen the Buddha, something like that. So whatever thing you see, whatever thing you feel, is not really very important. Don't follow it. Especially if we are not sincere. Even very minor things, it can frighten us. Sometimes it's just normal, like a bird singing. We think it's like a devas or ghosts, or we also think there is some other known living beings or unseen living beings. Sometimes even it's normal, visible things like stones or trees. At night, if we see the trees, it's like a ghost, right? It's totally dark. Then our minds are cheated. Fear may arise. So although we live in the forest, we live alone, we are meditating, one mind becomes very quiet, environments become very quiet, we are not very familiar with that kind of situation. Then fear may arise. If fear arises, it becomes an disturbance. It becomes a disturbance, an obstacle. We cannot improve easily. So that means whatever we see, we feel, we have to accept simply, naturally. Although we have very much quietness and calmness, although very strong tranquility, don't try to recall that tranquility too much. When our mind is not very familiar with quietness, then we may have fear. When fear arises, we cannot meditate well. So sometimes when we are treated by Mara's armies, like fear now, fear, right? Like fear, then our mind is not very stable. And treating as a treating. For example, known ghost as a ghost. I treat as a ghost. We can misunderstand, we can perceive wrongly. Then it will get worse. This is also Mara's armies. Okay, now number 7. We have the Pali word Vicikicchā. Vicikicchā is actually we translate as a doubt or skepticism. Sometimes we are meditating, but we cannot improve. There are many other causes that can disturb us, or that can be an obstacle, or that can hinder our improvement. If we cannot improve, we may have a doubt about our practice. That our practice is right or wrong. Sometimes We can enjoy the solitudes, but we can live in the solitudes, but we cannot improve, and we may suspect, what's wrong with me? Maybe my morality is not really very good, so that's why I cannot improve. Or maybe my meditation subjects are not very true, that's why I cannot improve. Maybe the way I practice is wrong, that's why I cannot improve. We may have a lot of doubts, especially when we try to analyze many different situations, many different conditions we have. The more we analyze, the more we investigate, and the more we have doubts about our practice. So we have to think about straight way the right path. For example, as long as we are practicing the way full path is right. For example, like Samma Samadhi, right concentration. Right concentration means 4 jhanas. We can take the first jhana, second jhana, the third jhana, the fourth jhana. If we can take one of these 4 jhana, this is right concentration. No doubt about it. Similarly, right understanding or right view, samadhi. If we can know the noble truth of suffering, the 5 clinging aggregates. If we can know the divinity origination, cause and effect relationship, no doubt about it. So if we cannot do very well, if we cannot know and understand the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, like divinity origination, cause and effect relationship, then we cannot have doubts. If we cannot know, we have doubts. If we can know, no doubts. So the doubts, the skepticism is also one of the obstacles. This is also Maharaj's armies. For example, like sometimes you may have many different teachers, different instructions from many different situations, from many different teachers. You may get confused. One teacher may say, oh, you don't need to do sila, just go to vipassana. Another teacher may say, you don't need to talk about sila, just go to samatha, vipassana. Another teacher may say, no need sila and samatha, just do vipassana. You have many informations, more than enough, it will make you doubtful. Which one should I follow? Mostly, people like easier one, the easiest one. But most of the easiest ways are not that much good, not that much reliable. Whatever practice we are following, we must have skill. If we are skillful, it will become easy. If we are unskillful, it cannot be easy. So sometimes we may have doubt about the Buddha's teaching. Sometimes doubt about morality, concentration, wisdom. All these are called obstacles. This is also Maharaj's armies. Sometimes we are defeated by these Maharaj's armies, we cannot improve anymore. And 8, Makkha and Thambha. So sometimes we translate as pride and ingratitude. Actually, Makkha is ingratitude. Thambha is pride. You can also say arrogance. So, in this case, why we have this kind of Makkha and Thambha, ingratitude and pride or conceit? So sometimes we can improve our meditation. If we can improve very well, we may be proud of our practice and our improvement. If we are proud of our improvement, we cannot improve anymore. Few months ago, I have known one meditator from Western country. He thought he was the best in his area, this mana pride. So we may think that I am the best person in this practice. For example, when we see the lights, okay, my light is the brightest. My light is the light of wisdom is brighter than other meditators. If we have that kind of mana, that kind of bright, we are defeated by manas. So not only that, because of this mana, especially pride or conceits, sometimes we can also say arrogance. Because of arrogance, there will be ingratitude. He may not respect any senior. He may not respect even his teacher or her teacher. So if we have this kind of mind, it will destroy his life. So he may not respect his teacher for his ability and knowledge. Then he may not respect his senior for their knowledge and their wisdom. If we don't have any respect for anybody, it is fine ourselves. In modern community, respect is very important. We have to respect our own value. We also have to respect other people's value. We must have mutual respect to improve our community. So now here, if we have very strong mana, because if we are arrogant, when the arrogance becomes very powerful, we will not respect anybody. It will destroy ourselves. It will destroy our community. We have to build up our environment with respect. When we have this Makkha and Pañcamī, pride and ingratitude, this is Mara's armies. We are defeated by Mara. We cannot improve anymore. Then we have number 9. Number 9 is a very wide, also many things in one. Okay, here we may have 4 Pali words. The first one is the Lābho. Lābho means gain. Sometimes if we are knowledgeable, if we can teach meditation, or if we are more experienced in meditation, then there will be some followers, there will be some devotees, there will be some donations. So here the main thing is gain. The gain also can destroy people's minds. So we may have many Dhamma talks in many different places, even in Myanmar. But now, currently, lockdown because very bad situation due to COVID-19 outbreak or infections. Anyway, The main thing is, when we give Dhamma talk, don't expect gain or fame. If we expect gain, it destroys the Dhamma talk. When we do chanting Brita or anything, don't expect any gain or fame. If we expect gain, it destroys the power of chanting Brita. So the main thing is, if we expect gain too much, then this also minus Armies. And we have sakkāro. Sakkāro means we have more favor. Because like more honors. Since we are teacher, like I myself as a teacher, for example, people will honor me. If we like, oh, he honors me, she honors me. You know, if I enjoy that kind of things, it becomes an obstacle, a hindrance. We cannot improve anymore. That's why honor, gain, these are very big enemies for our improvement. Not only that, we have the next one is siloko, faith. Now in Mara community, I think more than 90% of people wish to be famous. They're trying to attract people to be famous in many different ways. So if they try to persuade people, trying to attract people, and we're trying to advertise themselves, they have to show their ability to become famous. So the main thing is, if we expect fame or reputation too much, it becomes an obstacle. When we are practicing the Dhamma, don't expect any gain, fame, or honor. This is very risky. Another one is yasa. Yasa means the attendance or followers. According to the current situation, we can say followers. Like Facebook's many followers, Twitter many followers. Now he become automatically like a celebrity. So they were trying to attract people to have more followers. This is also an obstacle. So, now one more thing we have to say. In Pali we have micchāladdho, improper way. By doing improper actions, improper speech, people attract people. Even last night Dhamma talk, one questioner asked me, one day there is a meditation teacher. That teacher told the disciples, I can read your minds. Then today you are in the first jhana, today you are in the second jhana, something like that. The teacher can read Meditator's minds and also can give instruction like that. Then this is very clear. If that teacher can read, he may not declare, she may not declare like that. So this is like attracting people. Then there are many other ways to attract people. Like they may show, like I practice like all the types of Dutiyās. I'm a Nagami, I attain jhanas, I attain psychic power. People may say many different things to many different people to attract people. A few years ago, I have been to one foreign country in Asia. Maybe before Corona outbreak, I've been to foreign country. There was a meditation teacher, a Dhamma talker. He declared that he was an Arati. Many people come to see him. After that, he can catch a lot of money for his Dhamma talk. And people also believe so people believe he's an Arhat. But we can imagine he can get a lot of money. If Sattamī, he will observe 5 precepts. Sakkāro, he will observe 5 precepts. Surely, without breaking, if he could attain Nakamī, no return, he will observe 10 precepts. No more money, no more business. But he declared that he was an Arhat, but he was collecting money, collecting donation. We can easily know it's micchāladdho, improper earning, wrong livelihoods. He attracts people. Many followers follow him. This is also improper followers, because he attracts improperly. But he earned a lot. This is also improper earning. He became famous. This is also improper. We can say like a popularity, right? Improper popularity. Then many people honor him. This is also really not very proper, because he cheats people. In modern community, if we can improve a little bit, we say very big. If we have very strong controlling faculties, if our controlling faculties become very powerful, then we have resistance from many different disciples like this. Sometimes we create new formula, new meditation methods. The Buddha didn't teach that kind of things, but he creates many new traditions, new meditation methods, but naming them Buddhist meditation. That is not really Buddhist meditation. That is his own meditation. To earn more money, to be famous, to attract people, to follow him, then if we do many wrong things like that, it is also Mara's armies. In modern community, many of teachers are defeated by these Mara's armies. Then we have the last one, Attukansana Paravambana. People with not very weak knowledge have the nature of extolling oneself, contempt on others. That means he may find faults of other people's weakness. He may try to say his personality is very high or something like that. This is called Attukansana Paravambana. He may extol himself too much. I'm better than him. He is very poor. Something like that. So he may say, I'm right, they are wrong. Then they may prove that they are right, given many different sources and references from the Pali text or Pali Canon. But there will be unclear sources, unreliable sources. Okay, practically, now we can say anapanasati. Okay, practically, right? Anapanasati. When we study Anapanasati Sutras, it's very simple. We have to know breathe in and breathe out. Sato wa asasati, sato wa pasasati. mindfully breathe in, mindfully breathe out. If we translate a little bit clearer, just mindfully breathe in, just mindfully breathe out. So that means sayadaw eva, just mindfully. Asasati, breathe in, asasati, breathe out. It's very simple. We have to know breathing and breathing out normally. Only one more thing, we must be mindful to know it. But people create many things. Know the breathing, know here, know there. We have to know this, know that, trying to focus on this, trying to focus on that. Create many different things. But then improve. What I say, this one, like this. What I say, this one, like this. But unclear. Anapanasati is very clear already. When they mix up with many other things, unclear. Now many more inventions, creations of meditation. We're not relying on. So, okay, in brief, we can understand the last one, adukasana paravamana. That means if we upgrade ourselves too much, using many body sources to prove that I'm right, we are right. Especially by holding wrong view, if we do that one, is very risky. We're going to improve. Then if we're trying to defeat other people too much, then this is also an obstacle. The main thing is, so don't say that we are very smart and very good too much. Don't say other people's weakness too much. When we are going to learn the Dhamma, we have to find the truth. As long as we cannot know the truth, we cannot be right all the time. So whenever we have difficulty trying to go and read the Pali Canon, with explanation, if we can know clearly, okay, do it. Sometimes we have to study, compare with many other suttas. This sutta say, okay, anapanasati is simple. Another sutta say many different steps of anapanasati. We have many different discourses, many different suttas talk about the same things. Sometimes, according to the listeners, the Buddha say different things. We have to understand that kind of situation. Anyway, here we must learn more in order that we can improve ourselves. We have to upgrade ourselves. And also we have to help other people. So now we have already talked about 10 Maharaj armies. Altogether, there are 10. So among the 10, how many of armies are surrounding us? We have to check ourselves. If we are trying to improve, but we cannot improve easily, then we have to check which armies disturb us, which armies defeat us, which armies become an obstacle for us. If we can know clearly, we can improve. So the Buddha himself come to know these are Maharaj armies. Then, to destroy Maharaj armies, what should we do? To overcome Maharaj armies, what should we do? The Buddha talked about 7 enlightenment fetters in the Makkha-thambha. The 7 enlightenment fetters can destroy Maharaj armies. So these 7 enlightenment fetters are the weapons, very powerful weapons to fight against Maharaj armies. So in our daily life, when we have difficulty, we must try to fight with 7 enlightenment fetters. I think you have known 7 enlightenment fetters. Sati Sambhojjhanga, the enlightenment fetter of mindfulness. It's always essential. In any conditions, we must be mindful. If we are mindful, we are closer and closer to achieve our aim. If our mindfulness is very weak, we are very far from our aim to attain Nibbana or to achieve any other worldly things. Then we also have to balance controlling faculties. We also have to develop 7 enlightenment fetters from time to time. Sometimes we are very lazy, not very active, sluggish, unwillingness to meditate. Now we have to develop the enlightenment fetter of viriya, the effort or the energy. Then we also have to develop the enlightenment fetter of wisdom, the investigation. Dhamma Vicikicchā Sambhojjhanga. Then we can also develop the enlightenment fetter of rapture, Piti Sambhojjhanga. When we are lazy or sluggish, inactive, or drowsy, or unwilling to meditate, let me develop these 2. Sometimes our mind becomes very active. When it becomes very active, it can also lead us the wrong path, to the wrong way. Then we have to develop 3 other enlightenment fetters. Upekkha Sambhojjhanga, the enlightenment fetter of equanimity. Passaddhi Sambhojjhanga, the enlightenment fetter of tranquility. Samadhi Sambhojjhanga, the enlightenment fetter of concentration. If we can balance all these enlightenment fetters, if we can develop these enlightenment fetters from time to time, whenever necessary, we can defeat Mara's armies. So, if we don't know what is our enemies, we cannot avoid. If we know what is our enemies, sure, we can avoid now. So, the first things we must know who is enemies, what is the enemies. Second things, we must try to defeat, or we must try to avoid, we must try to solve this problem. The Buddha also guided us to solve all this problem by practicing the 7 enlightenment fetters. So today we have already explained 10 Mara's armies and how to defeat or how to overcome Mara's armies. May you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and as a result of it, may you all be able to attain the Nibbana, the final cessations, and the suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.
Ravindra sir.
Yes, sir.
Bhante, if it is okay to take some questions?
Okay.